Hi everybody, those who are here. A very good morning. Please confirm if I'm clearly audible and screen visible. Somebody, just in the chat box. Okay. Oh, very fine. Okay, yeah, fair enough. So, very well, guys. My name is Alok, and I'm currently associated with Dematicus for around 2 years now. I take care of the PG program and our weekend program DSP also. So I look after the training for analytics majorly. The tools which I usually take up are SQL or sometimes Tableau, sometimes Excel. When there are no better trainers available. If there are, as the case may be, like your Excel must have been conducted by whom? I think, Amit? Yep, correct. So, very, very. How did it go? The Excel training. How did you find it? Nice. Learned some new things. थोड़ा सा कॉन्फिडेंस आया एक्सेल में काम करने का with the mindset of analysis. When we usually talk के एक्सेल में डेटा एनालिसिस होता है और एक्सेल में many a times we talk to students and students are like एक्सेल में क्या है एक्सेल में है ही क्या करने को एक्सेल में क्या सिखा दोगे तो आई थिंक अभी तो पता यू नो कि एक्सेल में क्या सिखा दूंगा what happens is when it is time for interviews when you are being interviewed for analyst position या data scientist position so nobody will say कि एक्सेल आता है कि नहीं आता एनालिसिस करने के लिए कोई कहेगा नहीं कि आपको एक्सेल में करना है या you have when you have ample tools at hand like you have R and Python and SQL and whatnot and big data and Hadoop and then they are coming up. So where does Excel fit in here? What happens is they usually presume that you know Excel. समझ रहे हो कहानी कहाँ चली जाती है इट इज जस्ट लाइक कि अच्छा आईआईएम से है तो इंटेलिजेंट ही होगा रीजनिंग में अच्छा ही होगा कम्युनिकेशन में अच्छा ही होगा आईआईएम से है ना so it is that kind of assumption. So if you are talking about data science position and you are talking about these tools like Python and big data and Hadoop, तो वो कहते हैं कि Excel तो आता ही होगा. It backfires when they really ask you. अगर वो सच में आपको कुछ देते हैं Excel में करने के लिए और आप नहीं कर पाओ, then it backfires very bad. It looks very bad on you. कि रिज्यूमे में तो इतनी बड़ी बड़ी बातें लिखी हुई हैं तुमने आता तुम्हें एक्सेल में नहीं है तो ओके enough about Excel. So all in all, you liked it. That is the good news. Next module we are going on in is SQL. अभी समझते हैं SQL हम कैसा करेंगे कैन somebody tell me थोड़ा सा आइडिया अमित ने भी दिया होगा थोड़ा सा मैं बताता हुआ चलूंगा आपको एक्सेल कहाँ काम आएगा. Before that I would like to know a couple of things about you because कोडिंग बैकग्राउंड है किसी का यहाँ पर कोई भी एनी कोडिंग बैकग्राउंड मे बी सी मे बी जावा नॉट एसेंशियली पाइथन एसक्यूएल आर जीओसी बीटेक इन कंप्यूटर साइंस और आईटी ओके ओके वाह वी हैव टू ज्योतिष one is OCJP certified other is saying no okay very fantastic then there Kavya okay Java and C Abhimanyu C plus plus okay Ashutosh you are Mackie Hammer just like yes I am also Mackie Ashutosh क्या बात है एक और somebody mic is on please switch off your mic Shankar you are also okay Shankar का mechanical Monarch Monarch you are also BTech from mechanical ये क्या बात है ये मैकेनिकल वाले में हाँ हम लोगों की तादाद बढ़ती जा रही है डेटा साइंस में वाह इट्स अ गुड साइन oh yes okay very sorry I didn't uh, I should have asked this first okay very fine Rehan before I go any further uh, please tell me this also is everybody okay with the way I am communicating I am equally comfortable in Hindi and English but by blood I am Delhiite and like, these old habits die hard the way I go is every now and then I will switch from English to Hindi and Hindi to English back and forth. Just give me a quick yes and no. Everybody comfortable with English? A quick yes and no. And don't be naive, don't be shy. Tell me honestly whatever you want. Is is there anybody? Is everybody comfortable with Hindi? Just give me yes and no quickly. Once again, Clinton, Harika, Rayado. Okay, okay. Okay, I got my cue. Very fine. Very fine. But as I said, these old habits die hard. So I would request you, and you are very much free to interrupt me then and there. Okay? You can interject in between if you don't get something. Will you do that? Help me out here. Okay. Thank you. So just interject in there and let me know that you didn't get it and that I was. My English was off here, so that I will repeat that thing, whatsoever it was. Okay, okay, a couple of things settled. One more thing, please, uh, in the login list, in the participants list, in this GoToMeeting, you will see your name. Somewhere it is your name. Keep your name. It might be you are using somebody else's machine, or maybe you are using some alias. So don't do that. It will be required for attendance purpose. So keep it to your complete name, to your full name, first name, last name. If you are using two devices to log in, you can do it one and two. First name, last name one, first name, last name two. You can do it that way. Okay. So please correct your name if it is not yet corrected. These are some things because I don't know how it was going on with Amit. These are the things which will continue for a really long time now, along with me. So we will not repeat these things every now and then. So let's settle them today itself. So please correct your name if it is not yet correct. I see many short names: Ashutosh, Clinton, Harika. So please correct your name properly. Or, I mean all others. I was just named out a few. I could see on the top. Now coming on to, shall I begin? Shall I begin now? Now we are ready in so many terms. That's enough said. So, guys, we will talk about SQL in detail. First, let's just for the sake of installation, we will be using MySQL for that. Unlike other tools, because of the utility of that kind. SQL is basically it is a language to fetch data and to upload data, to keep it there, to maintain it there, and to fetch it as and when required from a database server. That is SQL. Now, along with time, there have been many servers and many tools which have evolved. As you see, if you just if you just run MySQL, as very popularly known, you will see several options. There will be Azure, there will be MySQL, there can be other versions also. There can be many kind of servers. MySQL, we will use this one, MySQL, whose logo is this dolphin sign. So we are going to use MySQL as a server, and we will be using MySQL Workbench as IDE for several reasons. The most important being it is free, it is open source. Secondly, soon enough you will see it is very interactive, simple to understand, simple to follow. I'm dropping here a link here in the chat box. It is the link. So just to copy paste it or maybe click it, and this window will appear. This web page will appear, which you see on my screen. Those who missed it, I'm dropping this link again. अगर किसी ने miss किया है, I saw somebody joined just now. I didn't. So just copy paste it or maybe click it, and this page will appear. If you are on a really stable connection, then maybe you will download this one. Which one? This one. It is around 420 something MB. What will happen is that you will not need constant connection. It will be a setup installer in itself. Install, you don't have to install right now. Just follow along with me. You just click on download if you are on a Wi-Fi on a broadband connection. If you are on a phone connection or that kind of thing, so do it later. Otherwise, this meeting connection will be interrupted. For phone connections, it is okay. It is enough huge, enough large. So setup will start downloading. So you can do it later also. So let it download. You don't have to install installation. I will walk you through installation. So don't worry about that. For now, just download. Okay. So yes. Then here in the chat box again, on the chat in the chat box and on the screen also. This is my email ID. What I want you to do is drop a test mail in the on this to my mail ID with subject line should be your full name along with your batch name, which is PGA this जो भी है. Fine. So I will stay for another. I will halt here for a minute for you to do this thing. Drop me a test mail. Drop it only once. Don't drop it time and again. From the mail ID on which you want to receive. I will add you to your mailing list. जो ही आपका mail आएगा, this mail, this test mail. Uh, what I'm going to do is I will read that. I mean not manually, but yes, I will make it into a mailing list, and you will keep on receiving my mails, the reading material, the data set, and links, and these kind of things. So again, it is going to go a long way. So please do it today itself and do it diligently. Drop this test mail from that mail ID on which you intend to receive the content, which I'm going to send. Okay, this is happening. Okay, okay, Anubhav, what so far has Shankar? Is it my voice cracking? Is it so? No, Sonam, you don't have to install it. I said it. Just download it and keep it with you. The installer setup. You don't have to run it for now. Can somebody confirm? Is my voice cracking or is it clear? Is it only Shankar or is it everybody? Abhimanyu, you don't have to download it with Oracle account. There is an option down below. When you click, there is option down below. Say no thanks. Something that. Same problem at your end, Shankar. Everybody else can hear me clearly. Okay, fine. So no problem, Anubhav and Shankar here, and anybody else for that matter. This is the link here in the chat box, which I have dropped. When you click on this, you will see this kind of thing, and I needed you to click on this one, this setup, which is 400 something MB. When you click on download, it will prompt you to log in. You don't need, there is an option down below. You see this? Okay, so you can start download directly. Don't give your mail IDs to anyone and everyone. All right, soon we will see. It is important. It is not very distant future when people will be doing FIRs of what? Of data theft, not money theft. It is coming soon. You just see. Okay, so this was one. Second, Shankar and Abhimanyu. Shankar and Anubhav. Okay, if you missed it. This is my email ID, and I need you to drop me a test mail with subject line. In subject line, it should be your full name, first name, last name, yours, and your batch number. I need your batch number so that this mailing list can be common to all of you. Once this download is done, uh, this is a guide kind of document with the screenshots and this and that. Okay. So stepwise, it is giving you a screen what you will see and what you have to do. I will mail it across you across this mailing list when I have all of your mail IDs so that you can install it. For now, do not start installation. Just download it and keep it with you. However, some of you, I think, have been through this. If you have been along with me, usually I launch batch with this kind of information. Some theoretical aspects which many of you know, which you must have already come across. What do you say? What are these jargon terms? Heard of them? Of course, you have heard of them. My question is, what are these terms? Are they all one and the same thing, or are they any different? What do you have to say? Are these terms with some difference, but something common in them, or they all are the same, and just to look intelligent, we are using them interchangeably? Is that so? Nah, not really. Yep, you realize that? We will try to talk about them and we will try to see some difference and along the way we will learn some theoretical concepts. So stay with me and then we will move on to subsequent session. We will see what are the stages of what is the cycle of an analytics project and where do the different tools fit in. Yes, very fantastic, Jyoti and Pratham. Actually, these all terms are different in some aspects depending upon the domain they are dealing with, right? But then there are some differences along the line. There comes some differences down the line. It all starts here. This is at the center. This is what it is. End of the day. आप जो कुछ भी कर रहे हो इनमें से, whatever you are doing among all these terms, eventually you are doing data analysis. And then depending upon the domain, it takes uh, several other shapes. We'll see them subsequently. So this is the cycle of a data science project, a data analysis project. At the center, it is always data and analytics. So that is the ocean here. And what is it, Karan? I don't think meeting is locked. Meeting is not locked. Okay, but I don't think it is resting. Anyway, I can do something about it, Karan. मीटिंग लॉक तो नहीं है. तुम करवा रहे हो लॉगिन, करण? तुम भी तो आए हो. ओके. ओके. मीनवाइल, so this is a typical cycle of did an analytics project and how it goes. And then there are different steps which involve various aspects of data science. What do you say? It all begins here. The chain of reaction begins here. Yes? Yeah, you know already how it goes. Today, even if you download a small Android app on your phone, it will ask for 50 permissions. Yes or no? It would want access to your contacts, your SMS, your camera, your files management system, and your storage and whatnot. For goddamn sake, your location. Jesus, what do you have to do with location? But yes, they want access. What are they trying to do? What do you think they are trying to do? Yes, they are trying to get as much data as possible. I see some familiar names here. Monarch, have you come across? I think I have. Mansi, are you the same Mansi which I am thinking of? Wow. So, okay, those who have been across, they must know this. उनको तो पता होगा. So, I will ask others to answer, not you guys. If you were there in this, if you have gone through with this session along with me already. This is happening because there are everybody so much tilted onto data collection, data collection. Give us data, and more data. You know, just not very long ago, if I talk about sometime 10 or 15 years back, if I take you there, certainly 15 years back, if not 10, nobody was focusing on these things too much. Either they were not collecting data at all. These were kind of businesses like universities and many other businesses. Right? And if there was business related directly to sales, then they were keeping casual data like in files and folders and you know just casually, maybe on an Excel sheet. It doesn't matter where it is. Could be an Excel sheet, it could be a PDF document, it could be a physical copy of a paper sitting in the file. Along these 2 decades, in this millennia, 2000s, 3 organizations came to prominence, and they showed the whole world that data can do wonders. If you have right data at hand and you can do right things with that right data, it will create wonders. It will do magic to the business. In a matter of these 15, 20 years, 3 organizations have come to prominence, like, just like magic itself, like wonder itself. They were not there, and poof, now they are kingpins. Can you think of who are these 3 organizations? Any guess? Any wild guess? Maybe. Okay. Nikhil has taken the shot. Anybody else? By the way, Nikhil, you are 2 out of 3. Yes, Nitin, finally hitting it. How could you miss Google? People, it's Facebook, Amazon, and Google. And I'm not downsizing Uber, but Uber is another very fantastic organization who they are also doing wonders in this field. We'll talk about that if time allows. If I okay, many of you surprisingly missed Google out of this, and very much hopefully I will say it. You miss Google because Google is not taking money. Can you tell me a few services you are enjoying by Google? What are the services of Google you are enjoying? Mm-hmm. YouTube, Gmail, Map, search engine, G Drive, translation. Fantastic. A fantastic application. And nowadays, it is not only translation. Translation. If you pay attention, they are providing pronunciation also. If I am not wrong, right? ऐसा भी है? Is it so? Then there is Google Duo, Google Lens. I don't know if you are using Photos. That is another fantastic free utility. You can upload unlimited number of photos for free. You can store that their photos and videos. Assistant, okay, for mobile devices. Yes, definitely a utility. So these are some services on the top of our head which every one of us is using. And yes, some of them, then there is meetings, Google Meetings. It has come up. Well, and there are many more which we are unable to figure it out. Which are we have to look closely for that. You realize where I'm going with this? My question is, we are using these kind of services from Google, and how much money you are paying for that? What do you pay for that to enjoy this plethora of services? No money at all. You realize what Google is doing for you? Are you feeling ashamed? I am, actually. We are taking so much for granted. We are paying nothing. The fun part is, yes, yes, exactly. Not internet data, Jagadish. What if you don't use Google Chrome, but you use Microsoft Edge? Anyway, you are paying internet data. If you have to be on internet, you will pay somebody. The fun part is, even Google is not asking money. Just think about it. Think about it. They can ask for money, na? Yes or no? They can launch a plan tomorrow that pay 100 rupees per month to enjoy all these 100 services, and maybe on an annual subscription you will get some discount. Will you pay? I will pay. I will really happily pay. I will pay for even maps. Maps alone. I am bad with routes. I am bad, you know. I am bad with my. I'm bad with routes. Don't you think they know this? They know this, right? They know what they are offering to people, and yet they are not charging it. It is because as they say it, you are not our customer. You are the product. Think about it. Yes, exactly. They have provided so many services, and they have provided, so many utilities that you are trapped between all together. You cannot escape Google. In this way or that, you have to engage with them. When you engage with them, you give them your data. And your data, that is the product. That is the oil which runs Google. Fair data collection. So it is that important a part. It On the basis of data collection, an organization rose and came to prominence. Google herself. However, for data collection, you are being an analyst or data scientist, you have a very little to do here. You don't have to do much on this part. What happens is when this data is collected, what to do with this data? So then there comes data extraction in this cycle, which is now this is where the job of analyst begins. Data is extracted on the basis of the business problem at hand. Now it depends on what problem you are trying to answer with this data. For example, if there is a bank and they are having what is the data a bank have? What does bank have as your data? Customer name, yeah, transaction history, PAN number, email ID, your account numbers. Are there any credit cards issued to you? Which credit card? It is it Platinum or Visa or Ruby and what? And all this gamut of information. Yes, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Address, financial history, whether you have taken a loan or not. Do you over, do you have a vehicle or not? Do you have some car, or are you living in your own home, or is it rented accommodation? So this is data along which is in the database of bank, and they have all this information. Now tell me, now you're manager, you are the analyst, and manager says what? Manager says that, guys, Women's Day is coming up, and I need to make some lucrative offers for our female customers. Maybe he wants to do some promotional business, some promotional offer on credit card or this and that, or maybe on loans, fee waiver or interest waiver or that kind of thing. Something. It happens, no? It happens. You must have seen the flyers. Yeah, girls, have you seen? When Women's Day is near, there are so many things, buzzwords going around. Yes, it happens. Now think about it. Being an analyst, do you need all the data? Do you need all this data available to you to feature out an offer for female customers? And you are getting the gist, right? No, not exactly. You don't need all the data possible. Maybe it will be for only female customers. The first filter will be gender. Maybe it is for, you know, credit cards. So second filter will be the female customers who are using credit cards, and maybe something else. You got the idea right. I hope you got the idea right. So you are extracting only that data. You are not dealing with the entire data possible. What you are doing is you are taking only that data which is relevant to your business problem, which is answering the problem at hand. Correct? Now, this data was collected by some people. It was stored in an Excel sheet or database server, or nowadays cloud is becoming popular, maybe cloud. So wherever this data is collected, now you are extracting this data which is relevant to your query, your problem at hand. This is where SQL comes in. To fetch this relevant data from server to your machine, there happens SQL. SQL stands for, you know that already, the structured query language. You are querying some data, so it is a query language to fetch structured data from database to your machine. Got the idea? All good? Monarch, MySQL is the tool, and SQL Studio, if you say not SQL Studio, the okay, whatsoever it is. Very well, guys. I think it is also good to have a few questions here. By now, there must be some questions buzzing on here. Monarch, SQL is the language. SQL is the tool. The Studio or Workbench, these are IDEs. We call them IDE, Integrated Development Environment. What does it mean is, you don't have to fear these jargon words. What does it mean is, it is just like user interface. How user will interact. It is like ATM machine. If I give a very crude, very raw analogy, when you are operating an ATM machine, what do? You do click, 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 and somehow it gives you money. So you are not very much interested in what is the coding and what is the mechanism behind the screen happening. How is this machine? You press some numbers and it gives you money. So that is the coding behind the screen. You are not interested in that. You are just interested in that user interface should be good. You should be lucidly, that machine is able to communicate with you effectively in a way that you understand. So that is the purpose of IDE. In that sense, for now, you can understand uh, if you can be at ease for a while. Why do you need only SQL and why not Python and R? Okay, Anubhav, it is happening that many a times you have tools which connect with your server, and sometimes you have tools which don't connect with your server, and that is one. Second, SQL has gained popularity again, only if you know. A few years back, it was a dying language. Reason being, these new tools, Python and R, they can directly connect to your server. So they can directly connect with your server. You don't need to fetch your data. R and Python, they both are capable of doing it. They will just manipulate data in the server itself. Same goes for Tableau. Meanwhile, what happened is now there are organizations which don't want to give access to, you know, they don't want to give access of their database. Data integrity का issue, the issue is data integrity now. So it is not because of tool. So that's why SQL. Okay. Yeah. Anybody else? Please. Anybody else? Question, please. See, if you are not asking questions, I will start asking questions. Okay. Shall I? So SQL is used for data extraction only. Yes, in a way. SQL and SQL Server are the same or different. Okay, server is somewhere where the data is kept. SQL is a structured query language. So commonly server को हम SQL we call it SQL Server because SQL will fetch the data from the server. So server is where data is kept. SQL is the language which will communicate with the server. To store data only, yes, to store data and to fetch the right data. And okay, some manipulation will be just between SQL and SQLite. SQL and SQLite, these are packages. Okay, this question can stay for a while. I'll show you. Difference between SQL and MySQL. Okay, Ashutosh. Okay, we have two Ashutosh. Is it so? SQL is a structured query language and it is a language, end of the day. Then there are MySQL, these are providers of this server space. There is MySQL, this dolphin sign, which we saw. Then there is Microsoft into it. It is coming up with Azure now. Then there is Amazon. It is coming up with AWS. So servers can be of different types. Among them, one is MySQL. So many times, and MySQL is so popular that many times we, interchangeably we use SQL and MySQL, which is not right, by the way. SQL plays a major role only in data extraction, nothing else. Yes, Rehan, in a way, you are right. But think about it. What else is more important? If you don't have right data at hand, what else you will do? Coming on to it. Coming on to it. Could you tell me this? What's a database? And if you somehow answer that, try to answer this as well. Mm-hmm. Uh, See here, I am showing you an illustration, and I hope uh, it will happen. Okay, this is Uh, this is data about an organization. This is data about an organization. Now, what is happening? It has employees, and you know very well. HR department is responsible for uh, what will what are the details about employees. These are our employees. Their SSN. Could you understand what is SSN here? What is this data talking about? Okay, very well. Not very. We are not very much interested in what this data is talking about, but yeah, it is social security number. Correct. Okay, for now, stay with me. We will talk about this data. We have to discuss this data at length, and we will do that. Suppose this is data of an organization, and okay, this data is. So, क्या होगा? What will happen? Don't you think every department of this organization will have a version of their own data, depending on the job they are doing? That's what is happening here. These are details of employees. Who is the employee? Where does he or she live? And what is the joining date? What is the birth date? How much salary they are drawing? And so on. And this kind of data, usually HR department is responsible for this. Okay, they are doing this. Then there is admin department, and what are they responsible for? They are responsible for bigger things. You can call this management or maybe admin. Senior management. They are responsible who is will run which department will be responsible for what project, and this kind of information. So this is senior management. Then there is operations, who are responsible for, okay, we have this much job, which employee will dedicate his or her time to what project for how many days, and this kind of information. So they are keeping that information, which employee is working on which project for how many hours. This kind of thing is being clocked by operations. Right, right. Then there is dependent, which employee has who is dependent at this kind of information. I think legal will keep such information. Legal department, which employee has how many dependents, who is legal guardian, who is legally nominee, and this kind of information. Yes, I'm not going to into exact minute details. I just want to give you a fair idea. What will happen is every department will have their own kind of data, right? One department keeps their data in an Excel sheet. Other department keeps their data in a PDF form. Another department, no, they don't trust computers. They are still managing files, print out and file, print out and put in file. They are keeping their data that way. That way they are keeping their data. Then these are operations. Okay, they are filling. They are filling. Okay, maybe Notepad or WordPad, Word document, whatsoever. You got some fair idea what's happening here. It is something, this kind of thing happening. Just imagine one fine day, the CEO says that I want to have a bird's view idea of my organization. तो सारे डिपार्टमेंट से बोल दिया उन्होंने, जरा डेटा दिखाना मेरे को अपना. What will happen? Somebody told me database is collection of data. Here is the collection of data. What do I do with this? You are getting the idea, right? You will end up with this kind of set of data set. Anyway, it is collection of data. But does it seem like, what do you say, a data warehouse? Does it seem like the data of an organization? Well, not exactly. Will seem like a painful job, yes or no? So while this one is true, which one? This one. We are nowhere close to call it a data warehouse for several reasons. Number one, the ease of understanding. It is failing the purpose. It is failing the very purpose when your CEO said, I want to have an aerial view of my organization, what is going on. It is failing there. Yes or no? Everybody has come up with their own version of a story, and CEO is equally clueless as she was before. There is no integration, there is no nothing to connect these pieces of puzzle. So that's one reason. Second reason, for example, if I tell you, just for example, I'm telling. For example, every what I want to say, the second problem will be that which the phrase which I used is everybody will have their own version of a story. For example, for example, it is organization which manufactures something and marketing department has done some marketing campaign. Okay, they have identified a market and they have done some marketing campaign. And now what they are telling is that see, we the cost of campaign was this much. The cost of campaign was X, and the revenue we made is maybe Y, right? And what is they are trying, what their data is showing? Their data is saying that we are into net profit of, yes, they want to show something like this. Their data is showing this marketing department because they are having their own version of data. So they are calling it this way. Not bad. Let's call it P. Now there is sales department. What they are saying is, what they are telling is that okay, you have taken into account this cost of campaign, like advertising cost and this and that. But meanwhile, there have been a salesman's incentive you have not taken into account. They can say that, no? Our salesman's incentive, it has to be say M. Then there is another data of logistics department. What they are saying is they are saying that okay, they have made sales and they have made revenue, but it involved transportation cost, which is C. Then maybe some other department or other. What is happening is I'm just giving you an imaginary example, but try to make it out what I want to convey. What is happening here is the onus is on CEO altogether. He will have to look after this data, then he will have to go to these people, then he will have to go to these people, and then if everything is taken care of, then then there will be sense here that actually the profit is not y minus x, it is y minus x minus m minus c. Getting the idea? Everybody is with their own set of data. And if they are not really worried about others and they are keeping their own story together, somebody will have to take this onus that it has to be integrated at one place. So, however you had the database, however you have this database, it is not yet data warehouse. Database, it is collection of data. Well, data warehouse is something more organized and more formal, not that haywire thing, more structured. Well, is it okay? So far so good. Now, okay, it's okay. I have taken at a stretch. Before, okay, let's break for a while. Have some breathing time. Stretch yourself. Drink some water. But before we leave, please tell me, is it going fine? How do you find it is going? Boring, interesting, confusing? Three options. Yes, Abhimanyu. So data warehouse is something which will have a certain structure. And what is the what should be the properties of this structure? We will discuss just in a while. Okay, okay. I would like you to be honest. Okay, your honest feedback will help you yourself. Okay, fair. Very fine. Why I'm saying this is because it will, yes, it will give me an idea what next I should do. Okay. 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 Most of you are here. That's good to see that you are back in time. Okay. Very well. In the starting, many of you asked about what else could be done with SQL. Is it only about sending data and then bringing data, and is it that all there is? Yes, more or less, that's all there is, but it involves a very important part, which is here in this cycle. You are saying data is collected, you are saying data is extracted depending upon the business problem. Then there comes a part which is data preparation. Currently there is a whole new division of to take care of this part. You are seeing job roles of data engineers. They call it data engineers. Seen that somewhere? LinkedIn, Monster, maybe. There is a job role that has evolved. It is data engineer, and it is, yes, their whole job is to design the pipeline of this data. This data is coming from various sources, raw sources. So it can be a raw source, and you have to structure that data properly. Is it so? Can somebody tell me? Is it my voice lagging, or is it? It it is not cracking, right? You are saying it is lagging. How do you even know it is lagging? To my wonder. Maybe it is problem at your end, Clinton. If it had it been a common problem, then I should have seen into the matter. But it is, I think it is okay with all the others. The question still remains: how do you know it is lagging? If it is cracking, I can understand. Lagging, what is that supposed to be? Chalo, it's okay, fine. Voice is feeble. Again, Manohar, maybe problem at your end. Others are telling me it is perfectly fine. If it happens, maybe you can try dropping and joining that. You can drop off and join that. So it helps sometimes. Okay. This is a step we are preparing data. We are preparing data. Earlier, it was it was a practice that we will prepare data when we are trying to analyze this data. I want to analyze this data, and for a perfect analysis, I need to prepare this data. Now, the people I am calling data engineers, it is their job that before this data, before this raw data which you have collected, before this data sits in your server, you have to prepare that data. Getting the idea? When we will analyze, we will save time there. We have collected the data, and before it is stored in the server, we will prepare it here itself. Now, prepare of what? What do we prepare in this data set? Can you think of something? What are we preparing here? It is not a dish. See, what will happen is prepare according to requirement. Okay, to an extent, yes. Arranging in a synchronized way. Okay, maybe. Okay. See, preparing has several phases. We will come to that. Preparing has to be done two ways. One is the structure, and other is anomaly. Structure in the sense, just a meanwhile ago, we saw, what did we see? We see that a database is a collection of information, is a collection of data sets, but does it seem like a data warehouse? Does it, is it worthy of being called the data of an organization? In other words, is it worthy to be presented before a CEO? No, we don't think so. We check that out. So that is what we are taking care of a structure now. So there are some properties of data warehouse. When we say that this collection of data has become a data warehouse, now it is organized, now it is in a proper structure. So there are some four succinct properties of data warehouse. Uh, sometimes it is discussed in interviews. So pay attention to this one, please. One is it should be integrated repository. What does that mean? What does that mean? That integrated repository. Here comes the concept of, I don't know if you have heard of. Have you heard of primary key and secondary key? Heard of these names? Primary key, secondary key, or foreign key. Those who are from BTech background, they must have heard of it. Okay, let's see. Let's see. What is that supposed to mean and how this data can be integrated? If this organization's data, if I'm seeing this employee table, What do I have information here? I know this employee, first name, middle initial, last name, SSN, this, that, so. And finally, the D number. D number is their department number. Now I know the department number. I don't know the department name. I don't know who is the manager of this department. I don't know when manager took charge of this department. This all information is in some other table. But can I fetch this information? Yes, it can be fetched. So in this way, these two tables, this employee table and this departments table, this is integrated. I can see department number here and I can fetch all other information of that particular department number from this table. So this is integrated information. Can you see some other thing like this? Can you give me another example of two integrated tables here? There are several data tables. Can you see an example of integration of two tables which can be integrated together on some basis? I mean to say this data itself, Sanyogita, you can take many, innovative examples, but for now, let's just stick to this database. My end of the day question is, can this database be called data warehouse somehow? Yes, department and department locations, employees and their dependents. Yes, we can integrate that. Can that be integrated? Just have a look. I have department and then there is department location. You see that here it is only department number and then there is department location. I don't know which department you are talking about. It is department number one. But can I fetch other information? Yes, I can. In this table, I can see department number one belongs to department name, headquarters. It is headed by a manager whose Aadhaar number is so and so. SSN. SSN means Aadhaar of US, nothing else. So, integration, two tables can be integrated. So that's integrated repository. If needed be, I can do these all the tables. I can integrate all these tables into one master big data table. So that's integrated repository. It can be integrated. Any table can be integrated with other tables. Now the question arises, why not keep one master table then? Why keep these different tables? Can you think of a reason? Why keep different tables and then then arrange somehow a facility to integrate them together? Let's keep one master table. No, we can do that. Why not convert this all into one master table? Yeah, the problem. Exactly. Prithvi has nailed it. Abhimanyu, correct. Because it is not practical for a couple of reasons. We will see. First reason belongs to this example of employee table. This data is being managed by different departments. Every department does not need to have data of other departments. If it is one master table, you see this. If this will be one master table, it will have these employee details, plus these details, plus these details, plus these details, and plus not what, plus every detail. Now there is one new employee. Say there comes a new employee. It is some new employee R. What will happen? To complete this one master data, you will have to enter each and every detail of this person, and you will have to go to each and every department. The person who is entering these details, who is responsible to enter these details, think about it, he or she will die running to different departments, yes or no? So that's one reason. So let's do our job. Now there is a new employee, perfectly fine. HR will do their job. It's here. When he or she will be assigned a project, okay, ops will do their job. They will assign their work and project. When there will be uh, uh, his her interaction with legal happens, they will enter his dependent details and everything will be settled. Coming on to it, Manohar, stay with me. Just just a couple minutes. So this is one utility to keep these tables separately. Could there be something else? Yes, there could be something else. Suppose you are ordering something from Amazon and they are maintaining your data, Excel sheet. They are filling up an Excel sheet. Let's keep it, crude. They are filling up an Excel sheet like this. Yeah. What will be the details recorded here when you place an order? You place an order and order gets delivered. What will be the data which will go into this Excel sheet? What do you think? Okay, customer name, customers. Okay, cell number. Very fine. Maybe email ID. Okay. Anything else? Maybe address. Yes, you need to deliver that address. You need to deliver your product, no? And maybe gender of customers. Sometimes it may mean something. Maybe date of joining Amazon. Something. Okay. Then there comes, okay, product. What is the product you have purchased? Product. What is the brand of this product? What is the category if this product belongs to? Is it cosmetic, apparel, edible, whatsoever? Very fine. Maybe the rating of the product. ऐसा भी कुछ रहता है ना, product rating. Then there is, okay, order ID. What will it say here? Order ID. Quantity, maybe कितना quantity लिया है product का. Final billing amount. Maybe discount if any. Yes. Then we come to, okay, what else? Then we come to shipping. So shipping, maybe shipping mode, shipper's details, shipper's name, shipper's rating, है ना? Delivery time, something, and so on. ऐसा ही तो कुछ होगा. Maybe shipper's rate, अच्छा shipper's rating हो गया मेरे ख्याल से. And so on. चलो, माना. Can you think how many columns are these. How many columns we have created? Some 18 columns. And this is when when we are when we are discussing. So these were some things on the top of our head. Just imagine what would Amazon will be doing. Perhaps they are recording 100 columns about you. Yes or no? Perhaps they are analyzing your data on 100 variables. How many of you have seen auto suggestion on Amazon website? You are purchasing a cell phone and there comes auto suggestion of adding that cell phone cover to your order, frequently bought together. It comes like that, no? Now you don't need machine learning for that. That is common sense. If somebody is buying this cell phone, most probably they will need that cell phone cover or maybe that cell phone's screen guard or that kind of thing. Okay, getting back. Now think about it. This is the data they are recording for each order. For every order, they are recording this many of data set and then there are many more. There are 18 columns and then there are maybe 50 more. Can you make a wild guess? How many orders does Amazon receive worldwide? Is it so? Anybody? Is my voice absent? It doesn't seem like that, Jyoti. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Before this COVID situation, there was an analysis, and it was the Amazon is receiving. It was a bit more than 30 million orders per day globally. Now think about it. They are filling their orders in this Excel sheet. Maybe manually, maybe they have some automated process, but it is happening. It has 50 variables or maybe 100 columns, and one order comes and you fill all the details. Another order comes, you fill all the details. Another order comes, you fill all the details. 100 details, 100 columns. Seems like a pain. Yes or no? And it is happening 30 million times a day. Just imagine. Just imagine if somebody is doing this. So this does not seem like a good idea. To update a single table, one master table, and it is being updated 30 million times a day for 100 variables. So let's do something smart, and that's where this again. What they do is what they do is this customer name, cell number, email, address, gender, date of birth. What are these? What do you think these are? These are all details of customers. Yes or no? Jyoti, my voice is perfectly fine. I think. So let's do what you think about it. These details, a customer name, cell phone, email address, you see these details are not going to change for a customer usually. Yes or no? Name, cell phone, email, mailing address, delivery address, and gender, that is for sure. It is not going to change. So let's not fill these details time and again for each and every order of this customer. Let's create another table. We create another table customer and take all these details from here. Take all these details and make them static. Now this becomes a static table. Static table in the sense, here you have created a new column customer ID. This customer ID will be entered in this table whenever order comes, and rest these details you don't need to fill. So this was your dynamic table. This is updating every day. This is happening day in day out. So now you are not entering all the details of customer. You are just entering this was the customer ID for this order. Whenever you need some further analysis, you will go to the customer ID. You will look for in this data set. Okay, this was the customer ID. Now you need to know what this customer's demographics are. You will fetch that from this table. You will not fill them time and again in that dynamic table. It is static. Once these details are entered here, these are not going to change usually every now and then. Fine. Let's think of it. Can we do something better? Yes, we can do something better. Let's do the same with product. We are not giving all the details of product here. Product this, product that. We are just giving a product ID. And rest details we can keep in a static table products. Now this is a products table. What are the details here? The details here can be products category, product rating, product brand, and here also we have done it by product ID. Fair enough. So further variables gone from this dynamic table. Same can be done with shipping. Yeah, we can do that also. Let's not keep all these variables. We will just keep a static tables. There will be a shipping ID and I will fetch all the details whenever required. But I will not need to update that in this in our that dynamic table. It will just need shipping ID for one order. Just see what has happened. We had 18 columns. Now we have how many? We have boiled down to 7 columns. So now daily updation, what we are dynamically changing, which are the entries we need to make daily. So I have to update only 7 columns, not 18 columns. So if Amazon, if real time, we can just uh, take an example. If there were 100 columns, maybe we need to update only 40 columns, not all of them. So we have created many static tables. So you got the idea? Somebody was asking that why not create master tables? It was me who was asking this. What is the problem with master tables? Yes, there is problem with master tables. So let's keep these segregated. There, I know it is going a bit boring, but because this theory is important because these terminologies will come up time and again. So that's why it is necessary to discuss it today itself. This table, which is dynamically updating day in day out, it is updating. It is called fact table. Fact table. It is usually, uh, yeah. Can you imagine what kind of data this will have? Just this kind of data: daily orders, daily sales, daily purchases. It will usually have a dynamic data which is happening daily or maybe monthly or that kind of thing. So that is our fact table. Other tables, which are static tables, customers, products, shipping. If I call this customer one, so these are called dimension tables. Dimension tables will be usually they will be static in nature. Static by static I mean, yeah, static. These details will not change every day, even every month. Seems likely? Yes or no? This customer table, it will not change every day. It will only update when there is a new customer. If there is a new customer, then we will update it. If same customer changes, say his or her calling details or maybe email ID, they want to update that kind of thing, then it will change. But it is not a daily business. Correct? You getting the idea? Dimension tables will only change when there is really a need of updating. Otherwise, they are static in nature. Fact table is something which is updating on a regular interval. Now, okay, if you are getting this idea from this employee table, can you tell me which table, one example for dimension table, one example for fact table? Can you see some table which is fact here, and can you point one table here which is dimension? Mm-hmm. Department location is dimension. You're getting the idea. I hope you are getting the idea. Employee table is dimension. Work is fact table. You're getting this idea, correct? Everybody? Department or department location for that matter, they are not going to update every day. Yeah, an organization will not have a new department every day, no, or every month, even every year. Number of departments will be more or less the same. Once updated, updated. You're getting the idea. Works on department, however, works on department. Yes, it will change. It will change, if not daily, but it will change at least monthly. They will update it. It will be needed to update. Correct. So that's the concept of fact and dimensions. What is primary and foreign key doing here? If I think of this, example which we have taken. What is primary key we are calling here is primary key. I am calling it something which will identify each observation uniquely in this data. That's primary key. Think about it. Amazon customers. If there is no customer ID column in this data set, this is list of customers of Amazon. Can there be duplicate? Can there be confusing entry? Can there be duplicate customer names? I am saying we need customer ID column. This will be a unique number for each and every customer. And why do we need such column? Because everything else can be duplicate. There can be duplicate names. Yes, there can be. As we see, there are two Ashutosh, two Jyoti here itself. Here itself in this session. So names can be duplicate. What about date of joining? Yeah, again, can be duplicate for two customers. Maybe two customers dropped their first order by some coincidence. They did their first order on the same date. What about this address? Can address be duplicate? Can it happen there is the same address for two customers? Yes, it is possible. Husband and wife, brother and sister. It is possible. There are two customers, but they are on the same address. Alright? Tenants and landlords, correct. It may happen. So all in all, we need a system to identify each customer uniquely. So that is the primary key of this data set. In this case, it is customer ID. Fair? So that's primary key here. What is foreign key? Let's see the orders table. Say, I want to see कैसे चल रहा होगा ये? How this data will be running? Now something is customer ID. They have purchased some product. There, there is some random order number generated to them. There is some quantity which they are buying. Amount this and all the information. Suppose I need to find out who is this customer. I have this customer ID number 21 and I want to find out who this customer is. Which state does this customer belong to? Right? What is the age group of this customer? And many things. Maybe I want to see. What I need to do is eventually I want to go to this customer dimension and I want to connect this customer ID, that customer ID number 21 with the primary key of this table. यहाँ पर कहीं पे चल रहा होगा ना? Here something must be coming. There may be various details and there will be customer 21 somewhere here. I need this detail. So what is foreign key here is this is the foreign key here. In fact table, the foreign key is customer ID. Why we are calling it foreign key? Because this column is primary key in some other table. This column is key to integrate a foreign table. Which foreign table? Customer dimension. So that is called foreign key. Now just one MCQ stuff for you people. Just call it out, true or false. Listen to this carefully. What I am asking, I am saying, I am making a statement. You just have to tell me true or false. Foreign key of one table will essentially be the primary key of some other table. True or false? Right? Getting this right? If it is foreign key here, it must be primary key in some table. Yes, no? Correct? So you are getting the idea. Okay, very fine. And okay, good. I think it's time. Before we depart, please uh, drop me that mail. Remember to drop me that mail. And before we drop, just drop a present everybody. Type present and drop it. It is for your attendance purpose. Nobody should miss that. Drop only once, but drop, type present and drop in the chat box. Everybody, please. Let's wind this up for today. Yes, Abhimanyu, there are resources. That's why I wanted your mail ID. So guys, watch out for my mail, not mall. Well, you will receive the installation guide for MySQL Workbench, which you have the setup which you have downloaded, hopefully, right? And I will drop some link to reading material also. There. So you will install it by yourself, and there will be some material. You will get to know. You will figure it out. If you do installation right, you will get to know what to do next. Watch out for my mail. Anubhav, I am in the WhatsApp group, so if there is anything SOS, you can drop it there. Maybe I will not respond immediately, but Damini or Karan will respond in there. If it is something academic query, you can drop me a mail. The best way to reach me will be mail. But again, maybe not immediately, but yes, definitely the same day I usually respond. Okay. And okay, before we depart, guys, I didn't know what was your going on your schedule, but tomorrow there will be enough work for you people, your the installation and this and that. So tomorrow we will keep off. Day after tomorrow onwards, we will be in a constant, rotation. We will keep receiving the schedule. I didn't know what was schedule previously going on. Jiva, there is already a WhatsApp group. Already there is WhatsApp group. Maybe connect with your counselor. They will add you there. Yes, Jyoti, it is 10 to 12. Tomorrow will be off. Tomorrow will be off. Yes. Okay, guys. Well then, signing off for today. So we are going. We are getting into a hectic ride. So that's why off tomorrow. Rest well. Return strong, and we'll continue. We'll pick it up. I'll try to keep it as interesting as possible in subsequent sessions. Okay, very well. Bye bye. Take care.
See you on Friday. Okay, guys. Very welcome. Very welcome all. Bye.